I'm traveling in Indonesia. But this isn't Bali. In fact, the region I'm in is in many ways the opposite of the hyper-commercialized resort island that is often people's only association with Indonesia. On this trip, I'm instead going to Sulawesi, this huge, multi-tentacled island at the heart of the Indonesian archipelago. It's a thinly populated and relatively underexplored region with stunning nature, fascinating and bizarre cultural traditions, jaw-dropping landscapes, and several friendly cities serving as gateways to this all. In this video, I'll be showing my first week of traveling through the northeast, in the areas around the city of Manado. Fresh off the plane, I made a beeline straight to my very first stop, the island of Bunaken. My layover in Jakarta had been somewhat intense, so this gentle place was just what I needed. The fun thing about arriving somewhere at night is the surprise reveal of where you really are the next morning. Bunaken Island is a wonderfully unspoiled place. And due to its protected status and the many wall reefs encircling the island, it's famed for its scuba diving and snorkeling sites. I couldn't wait to have a look at what's down there. Either you can just walk right into the water and start snorkeling, or you can join one of the dive boats leaving every morning. Bunaken is blessed with an abundance of fish and healthy corals, a perfect introduction to the beauty of Sulawesi. All this abundance of aquatic life also means, ironically, that you can enjoy fresh fish on the island every day. When I got back, I bumped into this local fisherman who had just made this most impressive catch. Dead or alive, I'd never really seen a marlin fish this up close, so I joined the curious spectators. I'm staying at Panorama Backpackers, a wonderful guest house / hostel on what I thought was the nicest beach on the island. It's a great place to stay. It's all family run, different family members and friends run different parts of the business, and they all make you feel perfectly at home. I normally actually like to keep beaches and islands for later in the trip, but starting here still turned out to be a good move. Actually, I'm staying in a place called Panorama Backpackers, which is a really nice spot to be. They serve meals 3 times a day, which brings everyone to the table at the same time, and so stories start flowing. And I love this about backpacking in general, like hearing about places you have yet to go and getting a bit more excited for them because people tell you some cool details and they'll give you some good tips. So this is a great first stop for me. And I'm just getting a whole new plan actually for how I'm gonna go through Sulawesi because of the things that people are telling me here. I actually stayed here for 4 days, but honestly most of my time was just spent taking it easy after some tiring initial travel days. However, soon I was ready to dive deeper into Sulawesi, so I headed to the small village on Bunaken to catch a ferry back to the mainland. Traveling via the city of Manado, I made my way down to Tomohon, a town surrounded by several mighty volcanoes. The town is quite pleasant, but most travelers, myself included, will stay in one of several eco-lodges that are on the adjacent hills that offer some great views of the valley. I had lost a bit of time on my trip due to unforeseen circumstances, so I was very eager to start exploring. Oh, how I'd miss driving a scooter in Asia along rural roads. It's simply the best.
Today I'm gonna try and make up for lost time a little bit because, to be honest, this trip hasn't been going so well for me. First I had major issues with jet lag like I've never had before. Then I got sick. I ate at the wrong warung, I guess, and that took me out for 4 days, which is the longest I've ever had like food poisoning. But what can you do, I guess? Today I'm feeling good finally, and I rented a motorbike, a moped, to see the beautiful landscapes here around Tomohon. And I'm already, I'm getting back into it. I'm feeling the energy now because the environment is so beautiful. And I'm gonna try and hike up to Mount Bunaken. Wow, this is quite a fun path down a dry stream. Very lush with ferns here. Lots of dragonflies and birds. Very nice.
Mount Bunaken is a unique twin volcano, having an active crater that is actually besides the main peak. It is also very much still active, the air filled with that distinct smell of sulfur.
Look at that.
Okay, so I kept meeting people who had done a very intense 2-hour hike to get here, all scrambling across boulders. But there's actually another entrance that's just a 30-minute hike away. So, pro tip, if you want to save yourself a huge effort, you can just park your bike a little bit to the west. Tomohon is such a beautiful area filled with rice paddies and green hills, and I just love driving around here. In the city of Tomohon, you'll quickly be reminded that although Indonesia is a Muslim-majority country, it's home to various religions, and here Protestant Christianity is the main religion.
So I'm going to check out the market in Tomohon, which has long been known as the Extreme Market. And it's been quite famous, or rather notorious, I should say. And honestly, if I was here a year ago, I would not have gone here. And it has to do with the kind of meats that are for sale here. There's dog meat that you can buy here, which is not the controversy actually. It's certainly not to me, because I think that's a cultural thing. In the West we eat pig, for example, intelligent animal, but somehow that's fine, and then dogs are pets and that's not fine, and we just make those distinctions culturally. Actually, when I was a kid in the Netherlands, I ate horse meat sometimes and I really liked it. And then I moved to the UK, and there was this huge horse meat scandal in the news constantly about some trace elements of horse meat being mixed up in sausages, and people went absolutely crazy about it. And I was like, you guys, I've been eating the 100% version of that. So, this is just different for what people are used to, I guess. But anyway, what was an issue here was the way that these dogs were slaughtered. And if you read about it, you don't need to read about it actually, because it sounded horrific and inhumane. And luckily, about a year ago, the local authorities, it was in the news that they said, look, we cannot do this, you got to stop this. And so this market has changed.
Most of the dog meat sellers agreed to retire, making this market not as extreme as it once was. I actually found there were still one or two sellers left, but it seems nothing like its past reputation. Controversy aside, Tomohon market has many interesting things you may not usually see.
Hello.
Care for some python, perhaps? Or how about some delicious crunchy fruit bat? Yum, 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 yum.
So those stacks of fruit bats that are on sale here do make me think a little bit about where the next pandemic is going to come from. But I guess it's a source of food. The snakes though, the snakes hanging from some of the stalls, there are only a few of them today actually, but sometimes there's whole bunches of them. I think today is a Sunday, so it might be a bit quieter. But yeah, those are pythons. Those are definitely exotic and wild. To me, it's super interesting. As far as I understand though, those are not endangered animals or illegal or anything. So they are very common around here, and of course they hunt them and find them in the jungles. Just makes me think, like, what do you do with them? Like, the soup? If anyone knows any amazing python recipes, share it in the comments below.
Happily, Tomohon market is not so much a dark tourism destination anymore. Like any Asian wet market, it's a colorful and fascinating place to explore.
Hello. Hello.
Okay, so I'm not joking, it may not look like it, but this is the most slippery path I've ever walked. I was like Bambi on ice here, clutching the railing for dear life, but the treacherous walk was worth it. So this is actually just one of dozens of impressive waterfalls around Tomohon. But driving around the rice paddies and taking in all the bucolic scenes, it's already such a reward in itself. I simply drove around without a specific route in mind, from time to time stopping at a viewpoint or a hilltop cafe. Tomohon is just perfect for relaxed exploration, and of the different areas in Sulawesi where I rented a scooter just to explore the area, I'm pretty sure that Tomohon was my favorite. On my last day, I mainly drove around Lake Tondano.
Alright, I've arrived in a place that actually was recommended to me by a cab driver a couple of days ago. Here they distill a drink from a particular fruit, and this liquor is a traditional drink from here. And also this establishment apparently looks like some of the traditional buildings of this region.
Okay, I was here on a Monday afternoon, so the place was deserted. But I'm told this is the place to be on a weekend night. The special drink served here is called kap tikus, which is distilled from palm sap, and it's a typical drink of the Minahasa ethnic group found in North Sulawesi.
Okay.
So this one we fermented around 2 to 3 days.
Okay.
The fermented we put in this pot. Maybe you already see the distillation. Aside. After that, it's boiled. Okay. Similar to kombucha, the taste.
It is really nice. It's sweet and a little bit of sour.
Yeah. But after tomorrow, it's already sour. Completely sour.
This is the pure one. All right. Ooh, you can smell that it is pure. Yeah. That's really nice. Yeah.
Because it's cold here, so you drink this.
Right.
One.
Right. I can see that working very well.
My time in Tomohon had already come to an end, but some of the best was still to come. Don't miss the next video where I go into the Tangkoko Nature Reserve, where I saw countless monkeys and birds and hope to see the elusive nocturnal tarsier monkey.